Okay, what do we got? Basic principles of curriculum and instruction. I don't know why I keep blocking my face like that. But Ralph W. Tyler, I want to say 1950? Ooh, I don't know when this was written. Yikes. Maybe earlier. Well, we're not going to find out during this video because this is live, so maybe I'll look that up later. Okay. So this is one way of viewing instructional programming, and that's how Tyler starts his article, which I kind of love because I'm finding more and more that things are brought up as this or that philosophies, and I keep just finding positives and negatives in each of them. And I feel like my answer and my reflections keep being that same dumb, like, oh, well, it's somewhere in between. Oh, well, it's somewhere in between. I mean, I'm going to keep writing it because I think it's true, but I'm also finding a pattern that I'm saying it quite a bit. So, Tyler, he lays out 4 fundamental questions that have to be asked, which I think I already talked about in my last video, but pretty much, what are your goals? What experiences are you going to do to reach those goals? How are you going to organize it? And how are you going to evaluate whether what you're doing is good? And I think it's pretty standard. Like, I'm pretty on board with all 4 of those. He says that many educational programs do not have clearly stated goals. And I actually agree with that assessment. We have a program of study as a province. We have like school-wide goals, but I think day-to-day teachers would have a hard time defining clearly what their goals are. When you're doing your Bachelor of Ed, yeah, you put your goals on each lesson, but I think in the practical life of teachers, you don't really put in those goals as clearly as one might think. And I don't think that's that big of an issue, because I think that there are so many goals that it's more effective for many teachers to think more intuitively, more flexibly in reaching the whole child day to day. But I do think that as a society, as an organization, we need to define things in order to improve things. There's a dichotomy between personal preference of goals and systematic development of goals. And again, I just think it's both. Teachers and individuals need to have freedom to adjust goals based on their contexts. That has to be a priority. But with no systematic development of goals, we're just kind of nowhere. Or we're on a bunch of little islands being less effective than we could be. There's a new word, or I guess category of thinker, which is an essentialist, who is someone who believed that education should just be for the essential things, and that's kind of it. And my grandparents were super with that philosophy. They would tell me all the time, yeah, well, school's just for your basic arithmetic and math and your basic skills, and everything else should be out of the school, so it should be up to the family. I don't think they would say up to the society, but that was part of what I took away from it, is school is for the crucial things everyone has to have, and everything else, let's just let it happen. So yeah, all of these progressivist, presentists, essentialists, even specialization, I think they all have a place in curriculum development, and that as long as you acknowledge that they're all important, and as long as all of them improve and think about what they're doing, that's how we get the best product. Talked about specialists and how often they try to answer the question of what do children need to become, like mathematicians, or what do children need to become artists, or what do children need to become writers, when they should be asking, what can my subject teach the general population, or what can my subject teach that's important for the layman? So in math, a huge pet peeve I have is that we teach all of these like quadratic formula stuff in high school and all this like high level algebra stuff that is really pretty not useful in life, but then we don't teach like basic budgeting, Excel, taxes, things that are useful in life. So that's a critique I have of math curriculum as built by specialists. Tyler ends by saying that, by suggesting that you read specific subject reports, which I take to mean curriculum, program of studies, even teacher resources. And by doing that, you know, think about what the team who put that together was trying to establish. And that's kind of a huge point for me, is that my career as a teacher, my effectiveness as a teacher really improved when I became a master of, in terms of knowledge of the curriculum, when I actually legitimately read the curriculum. I don't think very many teachers really read the curriculum. They might glance it, they might read parts of it, they might but I don't think the average teacher actually reads in a deep way the curriculum. And when I started to do that, that's when that's when I felt I started being much more effective, because I started focusing on actual objectives that I could define, and then I was able to improve them. Literally, this whole bookshelf behind me, that's what those binders are. These are all of the resources for social studies, science, math, and ELA, including the program studies, including textbook resources, things I've compiled over the years. But when I grab, like, whatever, when I look to start a lesson and I'm thinking about what I'm supposed to teach, like, here we go. So chapter 2, planning chart. Key principles. The place value system is designed so that a digit in any column represents 10 times the value of the same digit to his right. Therefore, each period of 3 columns represents 1,000 times the corresponding values in the period to its right. So that's like basic place value, right? And I might have known that that's something that I need to teach the kids, but I might not have. And I definitely wouldn't have been able to define it that clearly. And literally that took me 2 seconds to just read. They also have these like math background. In this getting started activity, students will activate knowledge about whole numbers to hundred thousands and decimals to millions in order to solve problems. They will also estimate large numbers. A place value chart is used as a visual aid, blah, 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 blah. Oh, this is getting too long, but whatever. I nerd out on this stuff, and I think it's hard to argue that it's bad. Like I could see it overshadowing the equally important autonomy of an individual teacher. I think that would be a problem. But having objectives is, in my opinion, not a problem. But we shall see what arguments are laid in front of me in the future. I should clarify, the 2 examples I just showed you were a resource, or teacher resource made by a company. I also have over here the actual curriculum. Maybe. This is embarrassing. I have it here. Is it here? What is going on? What is going on? Oh, it's right here. All right, so like this is, you know, the grade 6 general outcomes, right? Develop number sense, demonstrate an understanding of place value, including numbers that are greater than 1 million, less than 11,000. So this is just like the quick and dirty look at what Math 6 is. I'm pretty sure I have the rest of the curriculum somewhere. I mean, I know I do, because it's like, that math has 4 different like sections, as continuity and change and technology and all this stuff. I'm really freaking out that not able to pull it up here. Super embarrassing. I know I used it to write report cards, so I could have put it back somewhere not there, but it's black, so it should be here. Oh, I see. Yeah, there's my program of studies. I just had it out because I was looking at it. Because I use it. That's why it wasn't where I thought it was. If you stopped watching by now, I don't blame you. But anyways, here's the program of studies. Beliefs about students in mathematical learning. Students are curious, active learners with individual interests, abilities, and needs. They come to classroom with varying knowledge, life experience, and background. A key component in successfully developing numeracy is making connections to these backgrounds and experiences. I mean, I don't know. That's a pretty good core thing to start with. Recognize where kids are coming from. You asked me just like spot on, hey, what's one important key to math education? I'd be like, understanding numbers. I don't know, but understanding where kids are coming from is a very important key. So anyways, I like having goals. Here are the goals for mathematics. They're not perfect, but they're pretty good. Anyways, they're better than I could do. And I think better than most individual teachers could do. And I can take that and improve it for my class, and I don't think that's a bad thing. So anyways, I'm gonna try to stop making these videos an argument and make them more of a summary, but whatever. I'm making what I'm making, and I'm pretty sure no one's watching them anyway, so goodbye.